My name is Maria Chiponde and I am the manager here at Kibébé. Kibébé was founded in 2014 with the aim of providing employment to refugee and Malawian artisans, mainly women. At the time, the idea was to support women to be able to find some decent jobs, some decent income, because traditionally Africa, but also Malawi, women have been restricted into traditional roles, housing roles. Kibébé has grown into this big brand. We are now in the international market. We're selling in the UK. We also have a website and we're selling in the US as well. All of what we're doing is for the purpose of being able to alleviate problems that our artisans are facing. What drew me the most to Kibébé was the mission, the refugee crisis. It's very sad to see that we have neighbors from Congo, from Burundi, from Rwanda that are suffering just miles from where you are. And so I really wanted to give back. What is so unique about Kibébé is our story and the way that we do it, especially because we also do promote a lot of the circular economy. We make sure that we include repurposed as well as recycled materials in our products. There's a lot of ethical consumers. There's a lot of conscious consumers. And so there's a lot of potential for us to grow outside of Malawi, and that's where we're looking towards. For Kibébé to grow beyond what we are, we want to go bigger. We want to get into bigger spaces. We are trying to grow our product range. We're trying to make purposeful products because we want to be able to appeal to the international market. The unfortunate bit about our growth trajectory, I want to say that it came about in 2020, just right after COVID hit. We were at the peak of our growth. We were planning to open an airport shop. We were trying to expand into new markets. But due to the pandemic, due to the economic downfall, we weren't able, and we were set back. And so when Exchange came in to say we can provide you with this growth program, it feels like we are having that jump start. Having a coach and the director who understands that, yes, it's not agriculture, but it directly impacts somebody's food if they make it themselves, has been the most meaningful for us. Because having to validate who we are and our impact has been very easy if somebody already comes with an understanding spirit to be able to say, we see your impact, we see your potential. What these experts are going to bring is a data-driven approach into our product management and also streamlining all of our operations. Because we're going to be looking at the trends to see what is selling, what are people looking into, what are people excited about, what sort of colors, what sort of prints, what sort of styles are people excited about. And so that's the biggest thing, that the next products that people are going to see from Kibébé, I think they're going to be wild. When we look at 3 years from now, we want to be able to see that there is 3, 4, 5 shops in Europe that are reselling Kibébé products. Because our work directly translates to how someone's life is affected here in the camp, especially because, refugees at the moment, they're able to receive equivalent of $5 a month. When they work with us, on a good month, they're able to make double, triple. We want to be known as the ethical brand from Malawi that is being led by refugees making different products. There's a lot of assumptions, especially on the media, about the refugees, and it comes from a place of not knowing. It comes from a place of not interacting. You can only know what the refugees are capable of or what the refugee crisis looks like when you actually begin to interact with that. It's not very hard to support the refugee community. You just have to kind of be willing to do it. You have to be willing to say, okay, I have my assumptions, but I want to learn, I want to listen, and you can come to Kibébé. There is a lot of entrepreneurial activities in Malawi, and I think as a people, we are entrepreneurial. It's just that there is a large gap between the formal entrepreneurial sector, so this is private, big companies, big corporations that have access to loans and funding and different things, to the informal sector. It is not easy, because when you're living in an environment that's mostly reliant on imports, already your cost of production is insane. And so a lot of enterprises are suffering because of that, because the devaluation or the inflation, the lack of foreign currency like the dollar here in Malawi, which is what most people rely on to import, to buy things, is exacerbating this whole thing. And so it's very difficult, but it's manageable if you're resilient and you're very strategic about it. We're a very long way off as a country to like a stability economy. I think it's going to take a lot of strategic governance, I think, from different stakeholders, our government especially, to kind of set aside maybe political ambitions a little bit to focus strictly on how can we get the economy to be stable before we start to look out for, other things. What do I like the most about Malawi? There is a very strong kinship. You don't walk this path alone. There's always somebody you say, hey, I'm your family. You should call me. I'm your family. And I think that's what I like about it, that we're very strong with kinship.